Hello, welcome to Lemon Series, where we talk movies, television, and wrestling. I am, of course, Lemon himself, Zeke Lemon, and this is my review for Friday Night SmackDown. But before we get into that, let's get the house clean out of the way. Share and leave a like. Comment below, let me know your thoughts on Friday Night SmackDown. And of course, hit that subscribe button as it helps me grow into my YouTube career. I would greatly appreciate it. Now, all that out of the way, let's get into it, shall we? So, another decent episode of SmackDown. Now, don't get me wrong, I do believe SmackDown has been better than it has been in quite some time. And I do think it's with the added depth of the NXT talent that we are having now. I don't know if Sol, Ruka, and Zarya and Javon Evans are properly going to be on the main roster. If I had to guess, maybe Javon Evans, Sol, Ruka, and Zarya. We'll see. But they have been on the main roster for a little bit. But using them, just getting some fresh faces on SmackDown, and also a focus on wrestling as opposed to promos when it comes to SmackDown, I do think helps quite a bit. Because we had like maybe, I want to say 6 matches on this show, and every single one really delivered. Yeah, some of them still had, the run-in to have someone else come in to help them win, like in the main event. But that one I didn't really necessarily mind because, yeah, that one makes sense. That one should happen. And even the Aleister Black and Sami Zayn, which now he is 3 in a row with the Blue Thunder Bomb getting the 1, 2, 3. I still do like the combination of he needs to hit both the Haluva kick and the Blue Thunder Bomb in order to get the 1, 2, 3. Now, we'll see what happens, because usually when he just hits the Blue Thunder Bomb, they kick out at 2. When he hits the Haluva kick, I do believe that he still gets the 1, 2, 3 with that. But I need to see now if he just hits the Haluva kick, then it's a 1, 2. Or he needs that combination to guarantee a 1, 2, 3. I would like to see that. Very good match overall between Aleister and Sami Zayn. I like the setup of it. Because when Carmelo Hayes came out, I was like, not really feeling that one. One, because I figured Miz would come in to interfere. Even though, again, that's kind of hypocritical, right? Like, I wasn't okay with Carmelo Hayes versus Sami Zayn due to Miz interference. But Aleister Black and Damian Priest interference, I didn't mind necessarily. Probably because I knew Damian Priest wouldn't really get involved. Aleister would just be distracted, and I'm more okay with, the wrestlers just going, what are you doing here? Even though y'all been feuding this for like 5 months at this point. And then as for Miz, he would like jumped on the apron and like, hey, to really make sure that he lost, while Damian was like, I'm just going to stand there. I think that's the difference to it. But yeah, and also we already saw Carmelo Hayes versus Sami Zayn. Like, I just think it's a little too soon to go back to that. Again, I wouldn't have minded once the bell rung. I'm pretty sure they would have had a good match. But, Carmelo Hayes coming out, I am him, blah, blah, blah. And then here comes The Miz to be like, no, it's not going to be a respectful breakup. Now we're in a feud. We're going to fight each other. Carmelo Hayes can win that. And then he can go after the U.S. title and then probably win the U.S. title. But again, I still think it's Oba Femi who's going to make his main roster debut and take it off of Sami Zayn. Well, at least that's what I hope. Or it's going to be Shinsuke Nakamura. It's probably going to be Shinsuke Nakamura. But yeah, we had that. We had like maybe 3 tag team matches on here. We had Zarya and Sol Ruka versus the Secret Harvest. Fun match for the most part. I wish I would have got a little bit more time. Sol Ruka is just so talented. I am blanking on her finisher, but it's one of the best finishers in all of the business. One of the most entertaining. I think it could get really over the more that she gets to wrestle on the main roster. The Javon Evans, God dang it, Ray Phoenix, and the Berto and Garza, who I cannot remember their actual tag team name right now, and it is actually really bugging me that I cannot remember their tag team name. But yeah, that tag match was a lot of fun as well. Javon Evans, again, going to be a super great talent whenever he is properly on the main roster. Maybe he is now. Maybe we are going to do Ray Phoenix and Javon Evans as a tag team since Andrade is no longer in WWE. And I can get behind that. I think that could be a lot of fun. They could have some fun matches with the Wyatt Six. We even teased the storyline with the Wyatts and the Street Profits. I do kind of wonder, where did the Motor City Machine Guns go? Where did DIY go? We had all these other tag teams involved. Now they're just basically non-existent. If you're not going to use them on SmackDown, sit on the Raw. Let's get the World Tag Title scene happening here. I am actually working on the video that comes out tomorrow. No, not tomorrow. It'll be Monday's video, where it's like the title problem within WWE and how I would necessarily fix it and how I would use it throughout the shows. World Tag Titles are involved with that. So you'll see that video Monday. Quick tease there. But yeah, we had all this depth in the tag division. Now it's gone. So once, assumingly, the Wyatts do beat the Street Profits, where do we go from here? Because surely the Street Profits break up. Miz already broke up. Those were your top 2 contenders within the tag division. Whereas everyone else, you need to keep everyone prevalent, and maybe Javon Evans and Rey Fenix is that. Maybe, they'll go after Los Garza. That's their tag team name. See, I've been thinking about it this whole time. But maybe next week they face the Motor City Machine Guns. Maybe they face DIY, and they could climb up the rankings, Fraxium, all of them. And then, maybe that's the next tag program that we go with. But yeah, the tag division was like the healthiest tag division out of all 3 divisions, and now it's really starting to fall, and it's starting to be within that bottom tier of rankings when it comes to the division itself. Because at least there's a storyline revolving the titles. We have a tag title match next week, but all that depth is now just pretty much gone. But still having some good quality tag team wrestling on the show. Randy and Cody versus Division, I wasn't fully into. To be completely honest with you. I just kind of find myself thinking a lot just about other things, not necessarily within life, but, it's just like, man, when are we going to get to this Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton feud? We keep teasing it. I didn't necessarily need the opening promo. It really felt like a copy and paste of Raw. At least the match was already announced. But, Cody's come back, what do you want to talk about? And then Paul Heyman comes out going well, what do you want to talk about? And then Cody's like, well, what do you want to talk about? And then Paul's like, well, what do you want to talk about? And then just on the ring, and then Randy Orton legit freaking teleports in. I really don't know where he came from. He just teleports in. Paul's like, I wanted to talk to you because, you can't fully trust Cody, and you don't really like Cody to begin with because you want the title, because the title is Lord of the Rings. And I'm just like, I've heard this over and over and over again. Now, I do think we are going to hold off Orton versus Cody until Mania. At one point, I thought it was Punk versus Cody as the Night 2 main event. I am now thinking we're going to do Rollins versus Roman as the Night 2 main event. And then it's going to be Orton versus Cody at Night 1. I do think we need to get Punk off of Raw. And we need to move him over to SmackDown. We need to end this feud with Seth Rollins. What does Punk do at WrestleMania? I don't know. But I do think now you've come so far. You're so close to Mania 42. This feud deserves to be on a big stage. I guess you could do it at the Rumble. But I do think at this point, because Cody, assuming he's going to be in the War Games match next month in November. Saturday night's main event, he can have a title defense. Maybe he could wrap up his feud with Drew McIntyre then, because Drew McIntyre is not going to be done with him unless he loses the Jacob Fatu. Good video package that he had on this show. But, these were the type of things that I was thinking about while the Vision versus Cody and Orton was going on. I was like, I wonder when they're going to finally pull the trigger. Is the Vision really working? Should we already do the breakup? And we're already kind of teasing it. And I honestly don't know if it's the right call to make, which again means it's probably time for them to go their separate ways. Because Rollins doing the curve stomp going, okay, we did our part. Don't go back out there. And a lot of people are thinking, oh, Paul's going to turn on Rollins. I don't think it's that. I think it's going to be a case of our leader won't listen to us. We're supposed to be a group. It's not a dictatorship by any means. And I am looking out for what's best for you. Because he knew Cody's still fresh. He's not going to be able to hurt you. Don't go hit him. He's inside your head. I do think that was genuine what Paul Heyman was doing. He goes for the curve stop for Cody, ducks out, and then hits the crossroads on Rollins, which probably indicates that Seth Rollins is going to win at Crown Jewel, which is probably the right choice to make. But yeah, it just couldn't help. Throughout the whole match, because one, I've just seen this combination multiple times. It was 2 fresh bodies. But the finish was the same that we've seen on Monday Night Raw. And again, I was just thinking, okay, when is Cody and Orton? When can we realistically get to it? Well, Cody's not done with Drew, so we need to get to back to that and wrap that up. Okay, so that takes us through November. Well, Cody's going to be in that War Games match. Okay, well, there's no PLE in December. Well, I guess there's the John Cena's farewell match. But do you really put that on the Saturday night's main event where John Cena's going to have his final match? No, that's good. Honestly, that Saturday night's main event should be a 1-match show. in all honesty, and just to be all dedicated to John Cena, because no one's going to care about any of the other wrestling that's happening. But anyway, and then, okay, well, there's January, well, there's the Rumble. Maybe we can do it there. Well, if you're already going to do it at the Rumble, then shouldn't you just save it for WrestleMania at that point? Look at the vision. Would they be better as single stars? I mean, they're both so over. Yeah, they're good over as a tag team, but they're not going for the tag titles, which they should go for the tag titles. These were the type of things that were just going through my head throughout. And I just don't, I think when you're at your main event, I should just be focused on the match itself as opposed to, well, where are we going from here? And again, like I said, like I've seen this combination so many multiple times as a main event on Monday nights. We just kind of copy paste it on Friday Night SmackDown. Then we get to the female Crown Jewel Championship contract signing, which I don't know why we had to do a contract signing. I don't know why we could just have them out in the ring, do like you've done multiple times, face to face. You could have just said, hey, face to face here. And then you could have done all the hoopla that we did post this. I just don't think we need to crown a contract signing because like we're going to do it anyway. So why have this? And they both talk the same. I don't know why Tiffany Stratton cannot talk shit. You know, Stephanie Becerra coming out saying, hey, look, I respect you. I know I've only been champion for 2 weeks, but I'm going to prove to you that I am the better champion, and you need to watch out because even though you've been champion for a long time, you've never faced anyone like me. And then Tiffany hits back once again. It doesn't matter where we are. It's Tiffy time. I respect you, but I'm going to beat you. I've heard them talk about this 3 times now. It happened on SmackDown before Tiffany defended her title. It happened on Monday Night Raw when Tiffany snuck in during Stephanie's interview. Then we had the exact same dialogue here on this contract signing. It's just like, well, what do we do? What's the point? Why do we have them on? Why can't they get a video package? 2 up and coming like new superstars just have this big produced video package that really helps them. They leave. I'm like, that's it? That's really all we're going to do? Like, that wasn't even like 2 minutes. And then here comes Julia and Kiana James. Really like this representation of Julia. Don't like the representation of the United States title. Like, Kiana's like, I made her one of the superstars here. No, you haven't. That U.S. title is barely defended. And sometimes I forget she is the champion. And they're trying to recruit Stephanie. Of course they don't. They jump them. We're doing the tag match next week. Fine. Whatever. Can they coexist? As long as Julia and Kiana James win, I'm okay. I know you have the 2 world champions facing each other. And if they win, I guess that's okay too. But I just really want Julia to get more exposure. Maybe she pins Tiffany Stratton and maybe we do a champion versus champion post Crown Jewel because Tiffany's not going to be involved in a War Games match. So she could defend her title at Survivor Series. And I think Julia versus Tiffany Stratton could be fun for what it is. Maybe Julia pins Tiffany next week and that's how we can set it up. Sure, by all means. But if the champions are to win, then they need to pin Kiana James. Just don't pin Julia. But yeah, that's really all it comes down to when it comes to the episode of SmackDown. Again, it was fine. I didn't love it. Honestly, I think it's kind of skippable. You could just watch the highlights and you would still get as much out of it as you did when you watched it. If you watched the whole 2 hours instead of a highlight package that's probably like 15 minutes on YouTube, it's better. Don't get me wrong. It just seems like a lot of things are at a standstill right now because we have to get past Crown Jewel. Really, as for Raw, where again it kind of feels like, okay, everyone's at a standstill, especially when it comes to the World Championships. Because at Crown Jewel, there's a lot of engaging storylines for things that are coming up on the other side of it. And we do kind of have that here on SmackDown, Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. And I guess the Vision to a degree. But after that, everything else was just, standard procedure. Miz and Mello. Looking forward to it. I'm not as interested in it as the Jey Uso and Roman Reigns stuff, right? Or the LA Knight stuff. Aleister Black and Damian Priest happening on a random SmackDown, which also a funny segment backstage where Damian just kind of beat up a crippled person, but it's Kit, so it was pretty funny. We're having the last man standing match on a SmackDown as opposed to at Crown Jewel, which I do think we need, especially with 1 week away. We only have 3 matches confirmed. We need to really bolster up this card, which we'll probably do on Raw, I guess, and we'll make it more of a Raw heavy show. But yeah, I'm just sitting here recording this going, yeah, that was fine. But it wasn't great either. But maybe you feel differently. Comment below, let me know your thoughts on this episode of SmackDown. Leave a like if you made it this far within a review. I do greatly appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button as I am trying to grow into my YouTube career. No SmackDown review next week because it is at 7 a.m. And, well, it'll be live at 7 a.m., but I won't be able to watch it until 7 p.m. since I do live in America and I do not have a VPN. And then Crown Jewels at 7 a.m. that Saturday, and then by the time, I could get time to actually do the SmackDown review, it's just not going to be feasible. And we typically don't do SmackDown reviews on the day before pay-per-view because everyone only cares about the pay-per-view at that time. So yeah, that's why there won't be a SmackDown review next week. But yeah, don't forget to squeeze a day, guys, because life is too short not to give you all. So squeeze every opportunity that you can. Until next time, I'll see you here at Lemon Studios.